Good afternoon. It is such a pleasure and a privilege for me to be here to join you all today at this rally. You know, we have got
I saw his picture
to do
with him.
a much better job in terms of getting the word out about these rallies and how very important that they are. They're extremely important to let everyone in the media know, to let everyone in our respective communities know, and to let our respective representatives know how we feel about gun rights. Obviously, what happened in Virginia, you know, with respect to the changes of the recent election that they had, and some of the proposed legislation that they're talking about adopting. You know, some of the things that they're talking about, I mean, they're talking about handgun registration as a potential law that might come into the books. Well, this is Michigan, and we already know all too well about handgun registration. Unless you're thinking about taking advantage of the documentation that's in the law, where you get a out-of-state concealed pistol license in addition to your own concealed pistol license here in the state of Michigan, you would then be exempt. But I didn't come here today to give a primer on Michigan handgun laws. Basically, I'm here in support of our fellow countrymen in the state of Virginia. You know, when you hear about what's going on in Virginia, I've been inundated with all of the warnings and negative pronouncements that have been in the media lately. One of the things that they've been talking about was that their legislators are talking about people showing up to the rally with torches, and they want to ban guns from individuals at the rallies, and they want to ban drones from flying around. I guess it creates some type of a security risk. I've been going to gun rights rallies here at this Capitol, here in Lansing, for a number of years. And each and every single time we've been here, I've always carried my firearm. As I look out in the group before me today, you all are all carrying your guns. By a show of applause, who is carrying their gun today?
I think that's pretty obvious.
Who would actually go to a gun rights rally without their gun? It's not a simple fact that we come here with a gun because we want to engage in negative antisocial behavior. No, we're merely demonstrating and exercising our right. And I can't think of a better place to do that than in a gun rights rally. You know, one of the things that I keep hearing from the anti-gun people as they talk about their upcoming rally in Charlotte, their upcoming rally in Richmond, they keep saying that they keep hearing chatter on the internet about this is going to be a replay of what happened in Charlottesville. This is not going to be Charlottesville, over and over and over again. And, you know, I'm getting a little up there in age, and I'm not exactly certain if I recall what this whole Charlottesville incident was. So, you know what? I have an internet connection. I fired it up, and I logged on to my search engine of choice. I Googled it. I Googled Charlottesville. For the uninitiated, for the individuals who do not know what Charlottesville, in 2017, there was a group of racists, a group of people who are antisocial, very negative, full of hate. These hate mongers in Charlottesville had a rally, and there were people who were opposing their hate, and they counter-demonstrated. Well, one of these racists who gathered at the rally got into a vehicle and mowed down a bunch of people. One person in that group, I believe it was a woman, she perished and died, and multiple people were severely injured. The thing that I want to make perfectly clear is that the media and the politicians in Richmond are subtly trying to link the gun rights movement to a bunch of racists, and they definitely should be ashamed of themselves. Gun rights is a right that is afforded to every citizen of this country. It is your birthright. And for exercising that right, you should not be vilified and you should not be slandered. Gun control, by its very nature, is evil. And if you want to get down to the brass tacks of it all, it is also racist. Gun control is adopted to keep former slaves disarmed. That is what gun control was all about. When this country went through the dark era of slavery, and when people of color, when black people were free, they were barred against owning guns because they had a fear that these former slaves would engage in reprisals against their former masters. Well, that made good sense for the former slave owners, but what does that have to do with us today? Understand that we have a dark history of racism in this country. As a matter of fact, we don't have to go too far from Lansing to go to Detroit. It's about an hour and 15 minutes by car. Ask me how I know. I made that trek this morning. The story I want to tell you about is the Ossian Sweet case. In 1925, there was a gentleman, a doctor by the name of Ossian Sweet. He went to school, he went to college, he majored in medicine. He came to the city of Detroit because there was a burgeoning class of working people in the black community who needed medical services. So he thought he would hang his shingle and he would ply his trade and that he would treat people. Of course, for paying, he made a very nice living at it. As he accumulated wealth, he thought it would be a good thing if he showered his family with some of the good things that go along with having money, like having a home in a nice neighborhood. So Dr. Sweet found the property over in Detroit, and it was over on Garland Street. In this particular area, there were no black people that lived in this area. That was not an issue because Dr. Sweet wanted a nice home, and he wanted to go to a nice neighborhood, so he bought this home, but he had to buy it in secrecy. Back then, there were deed covenants and restrictions that kept black people from living in that particular neighborhood. So when word got out that Dr. Sweet and his family were moving in, as word got out, more people started accumulating in front of his residence. It did not take long, approximately 3 to 5 days, before a huge mob assembled in front of his home. Printed estimates tell us that there were at least 500 people who were gathered outside of his home telling him to leave and to abandon his property. Well, on that one fateful evening, gunfire erupted and someone had fired into the Sweet home. Dr. Sweet, not being a fool, he actually brought lots of friends and lots of family with him. And each and every one of them brought guns with them. On that fateful night, they returned fire. And then, and only then, after 2 people in that racist mob were killed, then all the law enforcement officers then stormed the property and arrested Dr. Sweet and everyone in the home. They were all charged with a litany of offenses, including murder. Well, things didn't apparently go as planned by the racists. You see, Dr. Sweet had great legal representation. Back then, there was an organization that still exists today. It's known as the NAACP. Believe it or not, there was a time in our country's history in which the NAACP was pro-gun. And during this era, they spared no expense. They hired one of the leading criminal defense attorneys of the day. They hired no less than Clarence Darrow to represent Dr. Sweet. After a long period of time, the jury came back with a verdict. Dr. Sweet was exonerated of every single charge. And the real important thing about this
Pretty good. How you doing? Excellent, brother.
is back then we didn't have some of the legal protections that we enjoy today, especially the one that many people find hard to actually take advantage of. For example, the right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
Well, Dr. Sweet and his family and his friends were interrogated for days upon end. But still, even with all the information that Dr. Sweet produced and gave to the prosecutors to put him on trial, he was found not guilty. The key point of talking about Dr. Sweet, his friends, and his family is to definitely make it plain and make it clear that gun control is evil and that it has racist roots. The thing that I really want to share with you all is that Virginia is our wake-up call. The things that are going on now, we have to understand that no one is safe. Every election counts. Every vote counts. No matter how long your respective area, your respective state has been in support of gun laws and in support of abolishing those restrictions and in support of gun rights, we must show up each and every single time. We must vote as if our gun rights depend upon it. Because when you really think about it, they do. You should always oppose anyone at any time that speaks in favor of gun control. You know, recently, right before the Christmas holiday, that Thursday before Christmas, this current, of last year, excuse me, I found out that a local person who's running for political office, I'm not going to mention his name, but he had a town hall, an anti-gun town hall on the west side of Detroit. I live in that neighborhood, and when I found out that this guy was going to be doing an anti-gun town hall in Detroit, in my neighborhood, I could not wait to get there. Not only did I show up, I put out a call for all of my fellow Second Amendment supporters to also show up to this anti-gun town hall. I didn't come there to start an argument. I didn't come there to start violence. I came there for one specific purpose. I came there to tell the other side of the story.
Amen.
Each and every time an individual in your respective community shows up to preach in favor of gun laws, you have to be there. You have to show up. You have to tell the other side. This venue in which this town hall was held was quite full of a lot of people. Had we not shown up, only one side of the story would have been told. They would have been told that guns are evil and that gun leads to violence and that our communities are better without guns. We had to show up to tell the other side, to talk about the racist history of gun control, that guns are okay for people to own. Law-abiding citizens should have the right to keep and bear arms as afforded by the Second Amendment.
Amen.
Well, the key point is that we were there to provide balance. And by the applause that was given by the audience on that day, they were grateful that we were there. They were grateful to hear the other side of the story. They deserve to hear the truth and to make up their own minds. No logical, sane, freedom-loving individual would ever want to adopt anything as negative and as evil as anti-gun legislation. I leave you with this. Never, ever take the Second Amendment for granted. We must show up each and every election and pledge to only vote for pro-gun candidates. And also, too, I leave you. You must vote. You must show up and support the Second Amendment. Thank you very much.
Thank you!